Howdy and welcome back. This video is going to run through kind of basic text-based interactions with your virtual development environment, whether it be a virtual machine set up by Vagrant or a Docker container. So at this point, let's make sure that our virtual environment is powered on. So if you're using Vagrant, that's Vagrant up. If you're using Docker, you'll go ahead and execute the Docker start command. Once you're up and running, I'll go ahead and I'm going to first connect, to my virtual environment through the command line. And then I'll go ahead and show you kind of the equivalent of the terminal window, which is called a terminal window in Microsoft Visual Studio Code. So if you recall, the initial directions that we had you run through to set up your virtual environment included having you log into your virtual machine using the terminal window provided to you by your operating system. On Mac, I'm using iTerm, and I can go ahead and connect to my virtual environment through SSH by executing SSH-P, which is followed by a port number. In this case, we want to connect to port 2222 and log in to localhost using the username Vagrant. So if we go ahead and click enter, it's going to be prompt me for my password. As I type Vagrant, notice that there is no confirmation that character input is being received. There's none of the ... dots as you saw in the Microsoft Visual Studio code window. However, rest assured, the terminal window is receiving your input. It's just not showing you that it is. So after typing in Vagrant, hit enter, and we can see this wonderful welcome to Ubuntu. Indeed, we have logged into our virtual environment, and now we were interacting with that machine inside of our machine through a text-based environment. Okay, so what's kind of available to us? What are the things we can do here? So if we go ahead and notice kind of this tilde here, that's communicating to us that we are in our home directory. So on your Mac, that would be in your users / in my case, Michael folder. If you're on a Windows, I don't remember where they put your user profile. But again, it's kind of like where my documents, my pictures, and everything else resides. That's where we are here. And if we want to go ahead and look at to first, ask the terminal, where are we? We could write pwd, and that's going to show us the path of where we currently are. So it would be like if we're in our Finder window on Mac or on Windows, here, let me shift over. Here's my home directory. It's got a bunch of stuff, but writing pwd would give me the path to that directory. And I can just go ahead and actually show you that by popping back over to my terminal window. I'll open a new window. And you can see the tilde. This is on my local machine, not the machine inside the machine. But you can see there, that's the path to my home directory that I just showed you over here. Now notice that, with our machine in the machine, we don't have this kind of nice graphical window, right? So instead, we're interacting with a computer, if you will, through a text-based environment. So let me close the terminal bound to my local machine and go back over to that bound to my CS128 virtual environment. So if we're interacting with this device, this virtual machine, this Docker container through the command line in this text-based environment, how can I navigate? How can I kind of do the equivalent of moving from folder to folder, removing folders, checking the contents of a file, etc.? Well, we just saw that pwd is a command that we can execute, which will give us the path to where we currently are. If we'd like to list the files within that directory, we could type ls, and we can see here the bin and the source folder. Now, in this directory, there are some hidden files, which we've hidden more out of convenience for you, not that we don't want you to have access to them, but we wanted to keep your home directory as clean as possible. But let's say we were interested in kind of looking through and saying, well, I want to display not only, say, the visible directories, but also those that are hidden. So I can go ahead and provide a flag to the ls program. I can do ls dash. The flag I'm going to provide is LA or list all. I go ahead and hit enter, you can see there are a number of directories and files within your home directory, not all of which are visible to you in this text-based environment. If we just execute the list command, or even in the Visual Studio environment when we open up that window and bound to the home directory in the previous video. So let's just go ahead and look at the contents again. Let's say, I don't know, there's kind of a lot of text in this window, and I don't know, I want to focus on where we're currently going in this lesson video. So I can go ahead and execute clear, and that will remove the contents from the window and give me kind of a fresh perspective. So just going through again, let's list the contents of our home directory and now say I would like to move into the source directory. I can do that by executing the cd change directory command and providing it the name of the folder to which I'd like to navigate to, in this case, source. Now you can see here that my path has changed. We see the tilde followed by / and then the name of the directory that we are now in. Now, if you're in Vagrant, the perspective might be a little bit differently, but it should clearly display on window that you are in the source folder. If you'd like confirmation that you are indeed inside that folder, just go ahead and write pwd, and you can see here that the directory we're currently visiting is home Vagrant source, and that is the absolute path to this directory. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and list out the contents of this directory, and I don't know, what can we do? Well, I don't want to compile anything just yet because I'd like to do that through Visual Studio Code. I guess we could create a file, just an empty file. Let's go ahead and touch. We'll call it test.txt, just a basic text file. So here the command is touch, and then the name of the file that we'd like to create. And if we go ahead and execute ls, we can see that test.txt is now a file residing in our source directory. And remember, because this directory is shared with our local machine, if I were to navigate over to my CS128 environment folder, let me update the window I'm sharing, and then go ahead and navigate into that source folder. Well, guess what? We can see that text document there. And just to, I don't know, prove the point that we are indeed, operating in this kind of shared configuration, I'm going to go ahead and open test.txt in Sublime. Was my editor of choice on my Mac before I moved into VS Studio Code. Still use it a lot for kind of lightweight editing. I'm just going to go ahead and write howdy world within that text folder, text file, excuse me. I'll save it, and then I'll pop back over to my terminal window that is bound to our virtual environment. Now, if I go ahead and type ls-la, you can see there's a bit more information that you can receive, from this, including when the file was, say, created. Looks like the time zone of my container is slightly different than the one I'm currently residing in. Irrespective, you can see here that file was last edited in August 17th at 18:17 in the, I guess, evening. Now let's go ahead and say I'd like to, inspect the contents of that file. To display the contents of test.txt, I write cat followed by the name of the file that I'd like to inspect. In this case, you can see here the file is composed of one line, and on that line it reads howdy world. Likewise, if I was curious what is in this hello world.cc C++ source file, I could go ahead and cat it as well. Notice that in the text-based interface, you don't have to type the whole name of the file out. You can go ahead and begin typing it and hit tab to have an autocomplete of sorts. And that's how I am, apparently typing a lot faster without any, character registration. But if you, I'm just using autocomplete. So if I go ahead and cat that, we can see that the contents of that file is a basic C++ source file that is simply writing hello world to standard output. And we'll get into compiling this down to an executable here shortly. But let's go ahead and just look at the contents of our source directory again. And let's say I want to remove test.txt. So I can go ahead and write rm test.txt and hit enter. Now, if I go ahead and list the contents of this directory again, you can see that test.txt was indeed removed. It was deleted. And if we actually come back over here to the, I guess, local perspective through my Finder window, we can go ahead and confirm that, yes, indeed, executing that command in the shared directory in our virtual environment did indeed affect the file system of our local machine, because again, this source folder is on your local machine, though it is accessible through the virtual environment because it is shared with it. Okay, cool. So I'm not sure there's a lot of other kind of basic Unix commands that I'd like to share with you at this point. I guess one maybe helpful thing in terms of navigating would be, let's say we want to go into that howdy world directory. So cd howdy, and then I hit tab to autocomplete it. Okay, we're in there now, and we can see there's a bit more of an elaborate file structure in here. And I'll get into breaking this down. What is the bin folder? What is the includes folder? The source folder, test. What is a make file? That's a file, not a directory. Well, we'll get into that here shortly, but let's say we're now in Howdy World and I'd like to go back one level down. So back to the source folder. Heck, let's navigate back kind of one step in the back direction. Then we'll go ahead and navigate another, which will get us back to the home vagrant directory. So I can just write cd .. and that's effectively communicating that the directory that I would like to move to is one step below the directory that I currently am in. So if I go ahead and hit enter, you can see that, hey, we indeed have moved down from the Howdy World directory and we're back into the source directory. And we can confirm that by writing pwd. Okay, well, how would I get back to, say, the home vagrant directory? Well, same thing, cd .. enter. Okay, we're back in our home directory. Let's say we want to go all the way to the root of our file system. I could just write cd and .. This gets me into kind of the equivalent of your C drive on Windows, or into kind of your Macintosh, I believe HD, if you just click it on Mac, and you can list the contents of that. And you can see there's a bunch of files that are here that you don't necessarily need to concern yourself with in this course. And I'd highly recommend you do not tinker with them, because you could disrupt the environment that we've set up for you. So if I want to go back to home, I could go ahead and provide the absolute path to the home directory, vagrant's home directory. That's /home and then vagrant. And guess what? We're back there. We can also move with respect to relative paths. So let's say I was in the source folder and I wanted to move into the bin folder, all in one command. Well, there's two ways to do that. You can use the absolute path, which would be specified with respect to the root of our virtual environment's file system, or we could provide a relative path, which is relative to the directory which we're currently in. So to get to bin, using the relative path, we'd have to step down one directory, so .. and then we'd like to, from that directory, navigate into the bin directory. You can see here, indeed, we've moved from home vagrant source to home vagrant bin using relative paths. And we can move back to source using the relative path again, or we could provide the absolute path with respect again to the root of the file system by doing /home vagrant source, and that too would move us to that directory. So hopefully this, I don't know, kind of basic stepping through the command line has proven helpful. What I've done here is going to be completely relevant when I move into the terminal window that is afforded to us within Microsoft Visual Studio Code. The reason why I used my iTerm window here connected to the virtual environment through SSH was I wanted to kind of provide a distraction-free introduction to this before we move back over into Microsoft Visual Studio Code and show you how to essentially interact with the container or the virtual machine, the virtual environment, as I guess we'll kind of use as a catch-all for the two, through the terminal window afforded to us within the Visual Studio Code IDE. So with that, the next video that I'd like to, or I guess next component of the lesson, is going to be basic compilation and execution. And we'll go ahead and do that within Microsoft Visual Studio Code. And that is essentially where you're going to do all your authoring of your source files and solutions to the MP's lab works and otherwise. And in addition to that, that's pretty much where you will be interacting with the virtual environment from. I don't expect you to really have to open up a terminal window outside of booting up the virtual environment in this course. So that said, I'll go ahead and stop recording and move on to the next video. See y'all there.